Good morning and welcome to another session of Tuesday Tour. It's John Sauter along with April Holeiter behind the camera from your Purdue Alumni Association, bringing you some more updates from around campus. And today we've kind of journeyed off campus just a little bit to bring you a real exciting session. And I should tell you it's a recording, so you can't talk to us as we're doing it, but logistically we needed to do some things here. And we have ventured down to the crew team boathouse, just a little bit off campus. In fact, it's down on the levee at the end of Brown Street. So if you come down Brown Street, make a left turn, you will be greatly surprised with the wonderful facility they have here. And just to our left is the Wabash River. And it's up, we can tell you, way up. But I can tell you that this doesn't bother the rowers who were out there at 6:30 this morning already, I'm told, getting some practice in. So the crew team has a terrific history. They go all the way back to 1949. So it's about 70 years ago when they first started getting together for rowing competition. We're in front of the relatively brand new crew team boathouse. This was opened up in 2010. There were two boathouses before it. The first one was a little bit archaic. The second one just had a few bays, and this one is very near the state of the art. When it opened up in 2010, which was where all the students gather, just to have a terrific history, have great successes, and we're going to meet their most famous student, Amanda Elmore, the gold medalist. So we got a great show in stock for you today, and we're going to go inside and get started. Welcome back. We're now inside the boathouse, and we're glad to have with us Coach Dave Kusik, who's been with the team since around 1995 or so, and quite involved with the team. And tell us about your involvement with the team and how it's coming along. And I think you're still a club sport. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this is a phenomenal facility we're in, and the Purdue Crew program is really an exceptional program in many aspects. You mentioned earlier how wonderful this facility is, and it truly is. But the meager boathouses and stuff that the program had before were just that. And the program was very, very successful out of those buildings. So it comes down to the point that it's the people that fill the building and not necessarily the building itself.
Excellent. Mm-hmm.
So I've been here since 1995, John, and it's been a phenomenal experience. I came from two intercollegiate programs previously and was very familiar with intercollegiate athletics and how they prepare and get ready for competitions and that sort of thing. And coming here, I just wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, really. Mm-hmm. But I found very quickly that the club athlete is equal to the tasks that would be put before an intercollegiate athlete athletically. They also strive very well academically. We've got a team of about 120 athletes, both men and women. The group has a grade point average. It's 3.2. Excellent. 53.2% are engineers, another 18% in science, another 22% in technology.
That's quite impressive.
Then smattering of other majors.
Sure.
But it's really a solid group that are truly athletes, and then also very good students. The piece that I'm probably one of the pieces I'm most proud of, there's several things, is the fact that this group also does a lot of community service. Okay.
Tell us about that a little bit.
They're involved with the community here. We'll hire the rowers out to patrons that need their gutters cleaned, their windows washed, lawn mowed, all of that.
I have rented a rower myself.
And hopefully it's been a good experience.
That's right, it was, very good.
But that's a fundraiser that's actually run by the club officers. There's two individuals that do that. They take the requests, they assign people, they take the money, they do the thank yous and all that sort of thing. And it's about a $22,000 to $25,000 operation that they run. So that's one piece of community action. The other piece of community action that's really extremely nice is we do an annual row-a-thon, and we go out to the mall, and we'll talk about the rowing machines in a minute, but the kids actually do a fundraiser with that. And over the last 8 years now, the club, the members, have donated a little over $100,000 to Lafayette Ministries, Good Samaritan Fund.
Very impressive.
Just this past year, we added to that and with another, I think it was $18,400, something like that. So,
and it is a club sport, therefore you rely on donations, and this board, I think, spells out very nicely some of your...
And these are the donors that helped put this facility in place. And again, this is a marvelous facility. You won't find probably another club program in the country that is enjoying a building like this and a facility like this. And the university does support the program in a lot of ways beyond just a facility here that the alumni paid for. And you won't find that with other club programs.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, you said earlier that we were just a club program still. I am so happy. I've been here since '95, so working on 25 years. So, so happy that the program is a club program, because all those things I just mentioned about what the club officers do and what the members do, that they wouldn't have that opportunity to do that as an intercollegiate athlete probably.
Interesting, okay.
And the money that they pay into the program, which is about $1,800 a year for first year people and $3,000 for varsity people.
Per student that joins, okay.
Means that they have ownership in the program. And ownership is a valuable piece of the trade here. There's nothing in this building that the people in this building feel entitled to when they walk in. Yeah. Because they have the ownership and they know they have to earn it and use it and all.
I'm hearing strong loyalty there.
I'm so proud of what the kids do. It's unbelievable.
And let's talk a little bit about the number of regattas, the number of competitions, and maybe these trophies are emblematic of some of that success?
Well, they certainly are. Purdue Crew is a member of the Southern Intercollegiate Rowing Association. How we got to be a member of a Southern conference, I'm not sure. Okay. Somebody got mixed up where the Mason-Dixon line was, I think. But this regatta here in the middle is the Oakridge Cup, and we go to Oakridge, Tennessee every year, and we've owned this trophy now 20 years in a row.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a team point trophy, which means that we've had top performance above all the other 65 schools that come to that regatta, and have garnered more points for both the men and women's events there. So we're pretty proud of that. And the banner above is actually for the Dad Vale Regatta, which is a regatta in Philadelphia we go to annually, and the Purdue Crew earned its first medal in 1958. Wow. It was a bronze medal in the JV event. Yeah. But since I think 1999, we've been started earning the team point trophy, and you can see that we've had it 9 times in the last 20 years, 19 years, that sort of thing. So
the Dad Vale Regatta was my first regatta I've ever been to, I guess. When I visited the Philadelphia Club, and not having been to one before, I can tell you I was blown away with the number of teams and the competition and the tents that the team has and the parents' support. It was just really quite something.
About 120 schools come there, and both at the Dad Vale Regatta and the Southern Intercollegiate Rowing Association Regatta. That's not only club, but also intercollegiate programs that come. And for our program to garner the team point trophies in both of those is really outstanding for the members.
Well, it takes good athletes, takes good rowers, and we're going to meet one of your most famous here in just a second as we relocate. So we'll be with you in just a minute. We're now back in the rowing room. I think it's got a better name than that. And Coach can tell us about that and maybe introduce our famous student to our audience.
Happy to do that, John. This is actually called the ergometer room, erg room for short. And one of these rowing machines here is called an ergometer. And the kids in membership actually get on these, and this is where we train most of the time for our cardiovascular work. And all. But with us today is Amanda Elmore. She's a 2013 graduate of our program, and we're very proud of that and her accomplishments since, but also while she was here. Amanda's a very special person to our program, and she won several world championships leading up to the 2016 Rio Olympics, where she stroked the women's 8. Took gold medal, and it still sits there. Sorry. But this is Amanda Elmore, and Amanda, it's yours.
Yeah, so I actually grew up right here in West Lafayette, Indiana. My dad was a Purdue professor. Both my brothers went to Purdue, and there are no high school rowing programs in the area, but I always kind of knew I was going to row because my brothers did. So I started my freshman year at Purdue, didn't know anything about rowing. Freshman year, got in a boat and learned how to row.
First time in the boat.
Right here on the Wabash, yep. And just found I was good at it and found I liked it and I could work hard. And I kept improving and started doing some national team stuff in college. And then after college, I committed my life to rowing and I trained full time for a few years before the Olympics. And then I was, super honored to make the Rio 2016 team, and the 9 of us in my boat,
look at the prize,
came away with this Olympic gold medal. Put it on.
Rio on one side, on the other side is
The
oh yeah. And we had a chance to hold it a while ago. It's heavy, as they say. It is heavy. It is heavy.
Yeah, so I'm actually the first woman from Purdue to ever win an Olympic gold medal. So it's a huge honor, and hopefully there are many more women after that, and hopefully other rowers. The program continues to build.
Okay, excellent. So you weren't even familiar with the program basically as you grew up in Harrison High School, and then all of a sudden it just seemed to fit, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I did other sports growing up. I was a runner in high school, so I already knew how to push myself and that sort of thing. But being here in the boathouse where everyone is training, the training is really intensive. We do weights and running and the erg machines and then rowing on the water. And I got so much stronger and fitter, and it was great doing it with other athletes. So we're all learning how to row together. None of us knew what we were doing. All figuring it out, learning how to row in sync with each other. It's such a great team sport. And then getting to travel to different races. I learned so much in the boathouse that I'm using in the rest of my life.
That's excellent.
I'm so proud to have gone here.
And you're starting to share that. I understand you even spoke to the NCAA folks down in Indianapolis, yesterday?
Yeah.
What was that?
So I just retired from rowing this winter, so I'm using this time now to take the opportunity to share my story. And I spoke at the NCAA rowing championships in Indianapolis this weekend to 1,000 college athletes.
Whoa.
And tried to give them some confidence going into their races this weekend. So yeah, it was really fun.
Excellent, excellent. Plus she also has a very interesting TED Talk and available through just Googling her or through us. We'll be happy to put you in touch. She'd be a great speaker at any banquet or gathering that you might have. I can attest to that firsthand. And so I think there's also a weight room upstairs.
Yes, there is.
And
the facility is really fully equipped with what we need to train our athletes. Naturally, when the weather's nice, we're out on the water, and that's our best training tool. But we still need to be indoors and on land to get the real cardiovascular volume in to really build people up to a level where they can really get after the sport in a very strong way.
Okay.
And the weight room upstairs is, again, a great benefit. It's all we're in one location, and we have the kind of equipment upstairs that rowers need to get stronger.
Okay, okay. You want to give us a little demo of...
With the medal on.
With the medal on, it all comes back to you.
We just strap our feet in here and then spend a lot of hours on these machines.
Just like that.
Just like this.
That's the way it's done. Okay. Coach, roughly how many hours? What's the training routine? Is it?
Oh, Amanda, the volume that a national team athlete goes through is far more than what we do. Our athletes train 2 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, and probably 90% of that is, a utilization, low intensity sort of volume on work. But Amanda, how much volume would you guys do training for the national team?
I mean, yeah, on the national team, we were probably doing, we were training 2 or 3 times a day, probably over 200K a week. But I mean, the training plan at Purdue is still very intensive. It's only 2 hours a day, but we make sure it's efficient. We get in here, get our workout in, do whatever we have to do, and then leave because people have classes and have homework and everything. So
I think that's one of the things that's really valuable about the way the program is run here is that we value the students' time. they need to show up ready, and then the staff needs to be ready to give them the good workout that they need and provide that. And that really helps them manage their time better, because they've got their 2 hours here, but they know it's well used here, so that transfers to the time that they would be studying and that sort of thing, to know how to use that time well also.
And the good grade point average indicates that it's working very well. With over 100 athletes, there must be quite a schedule in terms of who trains and when and all that sort of thing?
Yep. Typically in the fall of the year, we'll start with probably 150 new members looking at the sport, and we'll offer a workout at 3:45, 4:45, and 5:45, and we'll actually stagger that across 2-hour blocks. So one group that comes in at 3:45 will do an hour's worth of stuff maybe in here. We'll move to another location, and that group that comes in at 4:45 will be in here.
Yeah.
And it just programs all the way through to manage those numbers.
Sure.
But even after we lose that group and you add varsity members in, we're still running probably 80, 85 varsity people, and then probably another 70 or so first year people.
Excellent.
So it's about 150 people total that we cycle through the building on any given day.
Wow.
And just in comparison, I believe intercollegiate athletics has about 600 scholarship athletes here. So we're a quarter of the size of intercollegiate athletics, just in this one program itself, which again, with kids paying that much money and putting in the time and then the work projects, community service, and you put all that in one package, I couldn't be more proud the way the kids manage all of that.
You should be.
And you mentioned the scholarship athletes. I mean, something I love about Purdue rowing is, so yeah, I went on to the Olympics, but not everyone is Olympic level. Everyone from the bottom to the top can learn so much from rowing, and you're really learning how to push yourself and push each other. So, we're just as supportive of the people on the bottom of the team as the top, and everyone is involved and important.
And one of the other things that's unseen with this program is it's very different from intercollegiate programs. Both men and women walk into this building and train as athletes together, and in intercollegiate programs they're separated and really don't see and learn the respect of an athlete of a different gender or ability or religion or any other piece of diversity that might be out there. It's one group that's melded together, and all those things are checked at the door when you walk in, and we train athletes here.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Tell us a little bit about the pictures on the wall. It's kind of mosey over here, and
so it's a huge honor to get your picture on the wall, because that means that you've medaled at one of our major events, and we really value tradition here. So we look up to these rowers that have come before us and always want to try to strive to, get our picture on the wall too, which is why I'm so honored that when I won the Olympics, I got the biggest picture of all on the wall of the boathouse. So I love that my story has been able to inspire other athletes, and whenever I come back, they're always so excited to see me. So I hope that's inspiring to them moving forward.
And her autograph is on the picture up there, so there's a lot of value to that. Very excellent. We're now going to journey next door to the Bay Area, and we'll meet you there. Okay, we've relocated. We're in the Boat Bay area. There's all together different nomenclature with all the shells around us and that sort of thing. And so to tell us more about that, we have the coach and Amanda here with us, and I want to make sure we talked about the names on the shells and even the sign behind us. Dave, can you tell us a little bit about those? Yeah,
the sign up here is really the original sign from the first boathouse, which was built back in 4950, and it was up near the Maru Grotto.
Okay.
And that sign actually ended up in somebody's garage because they acquired it and saved it, and then a mom was cleaning the garage and didn't want it anymore, so she called and I acquired the sign back, and it's been hanging there ever since.
Great, good heritage.
The names on the boats are to remember people or to honor people. For instance, Larry Prio was the athletic director back in the director of recreational sports back in the mid-'80s. And he was actually very instrumental in the position that I now have, which is the head coach, director of rowing position. It became a university position back in the mid 80s through the work of several alumni to make that happen, and to have the position look more professional so that the program could be more stable because that position was there. And that was a great feat to have happen, because it really did stabilize the program and set things up for where it is today.
Okay.
For instance, Ralph Kerby Davidson, he was one of the first coaches here back in the 80s, and his rowers wanted to remember him in a special way, and so they purchased a shell, which this black shell here, brand new, would cost about $56,000.
$56,000.
It weighs 200 pounds, 60 feet long, and it's just a nice way to remember somebody. So
Sure.
if you happen to see your name on one of these shells, then you're either dead or you're being honored. And you had some
Consider
really
it.
impact on
Okay.
some people's lives.
How many shells do we have here?
Well, with a program that probably 25 to 30 still shells that are used. Some are used for training only. Some are used for racing only. But you know, with the number of people having a program, we need this number of shells just to have people get on the water in that 2-hour interval that we were talking about for training.
Sure, okay. And I think you mentioned even with shells and rowing and water, you think there's still it's a ball sport involved. Tell us about the ball.
This is quite humorous, I think, anyhow. But up here on the very, very tip, there's a little ball here. So we do have a ball in our sport. We don't throw it, dunk it, run with it, or hand it off, but it's stationary on the bow, and we try to get this bow ball from the starting line to the finish line faster than anybody else.
All right, let's make our way down, and maybe Amanda, you can tell us a little bit about the seats and how many and how long and all that of this sort of thing.
Yeah, so this is the front of the boat, the bow, and all the rowers are facing backwards, so you put your feet into these shoes and strap in, and then you sit on this seat, and your seat actually moves forwards and backwards when you row, and so your oar will go into this oar lock here. So you put the oar in the water and push as hard as you can with your legs, mostly your legs. A lot of people think rowing's a lot of upper body, but you want to have strong legs, push your seat back, and move the boat forward. And you can see it's a long boat, I think 60 feet long, and so this one's an 8. So we've got 8 rowers, and each person gets their own seat. And then up here, the one closest to the back, who everyone's following, is called the stroke seat. And this was my seat at the Olympics. I was in the Olympic 8 in stroke seat. And so the only person that I could see while I was rowing is the little person called the coxswain, who sits in this seat. And she's the only person facing forward, and all the rowers are facing her. And she has a little microphone here.
The microphone might not be there.
Yeah, so she has usually a little microphone, and there's speakers throughout the boat. So she, I guess, or he in a men's boat, will tell the rowers what to do, what their rate is, whether they're beating other crews, whether they need to go faster. They're always telling you have to go faster. and yeah, so they're really the coaches of the boat, I guess.
Do the other rowers then watch you and they have to row in sync with you? Is that that keeps them, because that must be a key to all be rowing at the same time?
Rowing is the ultimate team sport because you all have to do exactly the same thing. And so the stroke seat's kind of setting the rhythm, setting a pace that everyone else can follow. But yeah, ultimately everyone's doing the exact same thing.
The significance of the stroke in a boat is really has great impact on how much speed you really get out of the crew. Amanda mentioned rhythm, and the stroke has to be able to give an impact to the boat and be consistent with how she applies the rhythm and the energy so that everybody else down the boat can actually feel that. And they're probably staying on time and being more in tune with the rhythm than they are actually watching going in and out of the water together. It's a feeling you have. In some crews, you can go out and actually train and have them close their eyes so that you take away that visual, and they actually row more together with their eyes closed because they're solely reliant on the feel and the rhythm of that stroke being applied.
That's amazing.
So if you sit in the swing with your sweetheart and you're swinging back and forth, and you're sort of getting the rhythm and the swing's going pretty nice, but if one person gets out of sync on the swing, then actually the swing stops. It won't swing anymore. And that's the same thing that happens in an 8.
Okay, which makes me wonder, what's the distance then that you would row?
Yeah, so our race is always 2,000 meters.
2,000 meters.
So it takes 6 to 7 minutes usually. And what's unique about rowing, when you're running a race, you wouldn't always just start out sprinting, but we have to get our boat up to speed. So the first about minute, you sprint. You sprint the first minute, getting your boat up to speed. Then you kind of settle down and just do rhythm, hard strokes for a few minutes. And then at the end, it's just whatever you need to get first to the line.
Okay.
And the middle part that Amanda was saying, you sort of casually go about, really isn't a casual thing at all. If you'd want to try this at home, do so only with your doctor's permission. But all you have to do is just stand up and down like this and do that at 38 times a minute for 7 minutes, and you'll have a good idea of what rowing's about. With the exception of rower, with the pressure that you're putting on with the oar, they're probably lifting about 110 pounds or so each time they go up and down.
Yeah.
So
Great illustration.
It's a pretty dynamic, vibrant sport.
Your legs burn at the end.
There must be.
It's a good burn.
It must be, yeah. How about nutrition and diet and that sort of thing? Is that important?
Yeah,
also?
I mean, it's definitely tough in college when you're running to class and everything, but I would always make sure I had a lunch, eating a lot. You burn so many calories in rowing, and I felt like in college and national team, I was just eating all the time, trying to keep up. We'd go to the dining hall and just fill our trays with food.
Okay.
How many calories did you burn a day?
I don't know, probably 5,000 to 6,000. It just felt like I was constantly eating.
That's a lot to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
And while you were doing that, going to class, you know, and I should mention, Amanda did very well. I think you were in School of Science as an honor student.
Biology major.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I was in the University Honors Program. I had time to do research up in the biology building in an ecology lab. So, I mean, we're only training, it seems like a lot, 2 hours a day, but it helps you to structure your time and you plan what you need to get done, and it's something to look forward to. You know, sometimes you're antsy sitting in class and you think, okay, I got to get my homework done because I get to go down to the boathouse to row this afternoon. So
there's the attitude. I get to go down to it. That's what you're looking for.
Yep.
Okay. Let's walk over by the oars. Maybe we can have a look at an oar. And they look quite heavy, Dave. Are they quite heavy?
Well, yeah, Amanda can probably lift it with a finger.
Okay, look at that.
yeah, they're pretty light. I think they're like carbon fiber, but they're super long. I don't even know if you can get it in the frame. And so this part goes into the oar lock we're showing, and you use a lot of leverage against the water to move the boat forward.
Yeah, so this oar is probably around, 274 centimeters, 374 centimeters. But it weighs about 5 pounds. Each oar is probably, $300 each. So when you get down to this sport, it's not an inexpensive sport, but oars like this is spun carbon fiber. These will last for a long time.
Okay. And these can't be cheap either, then.
Well, no, $300 each.
Okay.
Yeah, so then that's why we have, down here, we were talking about the names on the boats. Well, we have donor names on the oars too. So we really depend on our donors, and we are very thankful of them, and make sure that we remember them on the oars and on the boat seats and everything.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think that's going to probably do it. We really thank Amanda Elmore, gold medalist, Dave Kusik, coach, for talking us through. I walked away with a sense of commitment that these students have to you and really to the program, and to what it can mean to students and the results that it can be with Amanda's discipline. Just an outstanding effort. We're very, very proud of you and of the crew team. So till next time, on behalf of April, hail Purdue.
Bye-bye.
Bye.